Service of TA. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. You're welcome. INEC and security agencies are currently meeting in Abuja to review arrangements ahead of the Kogi and Bayelsa governorship elections. Let's now join Mia Ogidi on some of the deliberations.
Is the arrival of the much-awaited month of November, hosting the Kogi and Bayelsa governorship elections. And the month is being ushered in under tight security, as it were. Yes, a security meeting between INEC and security agencies. Though it is a closed-door meeting, but the little journalists were allowed to cover is worth telling.
We are also concerned that thugs have been mobilized from within and
no doubt will be allowed to be brought from any other adjoining state to these states to disrupt elections. All those areas will be mined.
Police deployment has been reviewed upwards from 25,000 to 35,200 in Kogi State, while Bayelsa is now 31,041 personnel as against 30,000 earlier announced.
And the personnel who are deploying, every polling unit, the personnel we send will be attached by names and their telephone numbers.
Those wearing the crowns in the two states, resident electoral commissioners and commissioners of police, were in attendance. Apart from having elections on the same day, Kogi and Bayelsa states also shared something in common in 2015. That is, both elections were inconclusive first ballot. Will this time be different? You will get answer on November 16th, all things being equal. Mia Ogidi, NTA News.
Our next report from Mina says the Nigerian army says it remains determined to end cases of kidnapping, armed banditry, cattle rustling, and other acts of criminality in the country. General Officer Commanding 1 Division, Nigerian Army, Kaduna, Major General Farouk Yahaya stated this when he officially flagged off exercise Ayam Akpatuma 2 in Mina, Niger State. Fatima Usman reports.
Ayam Akpatuma is a military operation carried out annually by the Nigerian military to address cases of kidnapping, armed banditry, and other criminal acts in the northern region of the country. The Nigerian Army's determination to rid the country of criminal elements that have been threatening the peace of the country gave rise to the continued operations carried out in different regions. Flagging off the exercise in Mina, General Officer Commanding 1 Division, Nigerian Army, Kaduna, Major General Farouk Yahaya, says the exercise, which is a joint multi-agency exercise, will be conducted in line with the new super camp concept recently adopted by the Nigerian Army, all targeted at containing perennial insecurity caused by fleeing bandits and other criminals.
This exercise is an exercise, but on the ground is an operation that works on actionable information intelligence to treat and neutralize all security threats.
In addition to checking activities of criminals, General Farouk Yahaya says the exercise also seeks to focus on building civil-military cooperation in order to obtain vital information from host communities, which goes a long way in enhancing operations. Governor Yahaya Bello, represented at the event by the Secretary to the State Government, Ahmad Ibrahim Matani, appreciated the Nigerian Army and other security agencies for their efforts at securing the state, adding that the state government has been interfacing with service chiefs to provide assistance wherever needed. The exercise Ayam Akpatuma 2 is being conducted in many formations across the northwest and north central geopolitical zones of the country. In Mina, I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
More on security, counter-insurgency operations in the northeast sub-region has received a boost as the Nigerian Army holds religious enlightenment seminar in Yobe State. This is aimed at countering violent extremism. Yunus Suleiman reports that religious scholars at the seminar were unanimous that the new approach will help in winning the current war against terrorism in Nigeria.
has been 10 years since the war of Boko Haram insurgency began in Northeast region, with Nigerian military deploying kinetic means of executing the asymmetric war during this period. With a theme, countering insurgency and violent extremism in Nigeria through authentic religious enlightenment, the seminar, which is a paradigm shift from the old norm of fighting the war, seeks to, among other things, leverage on non-kinetic approach by depicting the true teachings of both Islam and Christianity to counter the insurgents' wrong narratives, with a view to discouraging youth from being recruited and indoctrinated into terrorist groups.
We hope and pray the government at all levels, local government, state level, and even federal government will key into this so that people will be mobilized and start preaching to our youth that the activities of Boko Haram is un-Islamic.
Advice I have for the whole everybody is to know that we're all brothers and sisters and we should be protecting ourselves. We should go the right way.
Governor Mobolaji, represented by the acting secretary to the state government, Babu Malam Wali, noted that violent extremism is propagated by incapable and misinformed individuals who have limited knowledge of true teachings of Islam and Christianity. Their various presentations, religious scholars were unanimous that all hands must be on desk to convince combatant members of the terrorist group through verses from the holy scriptures to surrender and lay down their arms for rehabilitation and reintegration into society under the Operation Safe Corridor of the Nigerian Army. In Damaturu, Yunus Suleiman, NTA News.
Our next report from Uyo says the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Jubilee has handed over 28 vehicles suspected to have been used in criminal activities to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Calvin Samuel reports that the commander, NNS Jubilee, Commodore Monday Nurere, performed the exercise in Ikodabasi, Akwa Ibom State.
Over the exhibit to the team of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, representative of the commander, NNS Jubilee, Navy Captain Adedotum Ayo, said the trucks which are suspected to have been used for bunkering and other illegalities were impounded at different times and locations across the state. He maintained that the action was in line with the professional ethics of the Nigerian Navy, who, according to him, are not to prosecute but mandated to hand over such items to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps or officers of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for further investigation and possible prosecution.
We've been doing what we are constitutionally empowered to do, which is security of the waterways.
The Akwa Ibom State Commandant, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Adeyinka Fashu, who received the items on behalf of his agency, assures that due process shall be followed in handling the case. The team thereafter went round to inspect the exhibit with the hope of conveying them down to the office of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Akwa Ibom State Command. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
The Defense Headquarters is collaborating with the Nigerian Film Corporation to change negative narratives on the armed forces in some Nigerian films. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details on what the partnership entails.
Two films with similar content but different themes. The first promotes the might and capacity of the nation's security agency, while the second, a Nollywood production, features negative conduct of the personnel of a Nigerian security agency. This civil-military relation workshop, organized by the Defense Headquarters, intends to urgently ensure Nigerian movies project concepts that enhance national interests.
We are going to project them through the lenses of all of you gathered here who are notable filmmakers. That is why you are rated almost #1 in the whole world.
Sani Mutudanja and Desmond Ake are film producers and describe the proposed collaboration as the catalyst that can change the negative perception of the Nigerian armed forces.
Lots of things were being done wrongly in the past because there was no synergy between filmmaking as a process and the military as an institution.
Why do we see America as #1? Not because there are no ill in the military or in the forces of America, because that's what they portray. So if we're able to portray this in the right light for the military, we are going to be respected, not just the military, but as a citizen when you travel.
With the collaboration between Nigerian Film Corporation and the military, we're going to do a lot of things, because there's going to be a direct kind of communication whereby right from even wearing the uniform, you get it right.
The partnership involves provision of required platforms, uniforms and training where necessary to project the true picture of the nation's armed forces in its quest to secure Nigeria and Nigerians. From the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Air Force says it is poised to redouble efforts in securing the nation against internal and external aggression. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, stated this at the NAF War College in Makurdi. Charles Abba was there.
The Nigeria Air Force has continued to task its personnel to study result-oriented approaches and strategies of countering terrorism and securing the territorial integrity of the nation. This was demonstrated at the Air Force War College, Makurdi, where the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, delivered a lecture on the topic, Nigeria Air Force, Challenges and Future Perspectives. He stated that the force is on red alert because of the current security challenges, which require constant intelligence gathering to quell them.
This institution is put in place to enhance the capacity of our officers, for them to have a clear understanding of all the issues associated with the employment of air power, whether within or outside Nigeria.
Commandant of the War College, Air Vice Marshal Charles Ogomen, explained that the course has drawn military leaders from various developed nations to share their experiences on counter-terrorism and extreme radicalization.
We are working through DHQ on the possibility of the German assistance team to support us with simulation equipment.
From the War College, Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
The Nigeria Customs Service says it has recorded another landmark stride in its campaign against smuggling, with some contraband products worth over 104 million naira. Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, disclosed this while on a visit to Area 1 Customs Command, Port Harcourt. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
The seizure followed a tip-off and in furtherance of Nigeria Customs Service ongoing partial border closures. The Comptroller General said the campaign is intended to protect local manufacturers and grow made-in-Nigeria products. 32 packages of pangolin scales concealed in 2 wooden pallets, 10 by 20 feet containers of tomato paste, and 20 by 20 feet containers of canned mackerel fish were confiscated. The custom boss is worried that most of the smuggled products are not only inimical to the Nigerian economy, but also injurious to the health of the citizens. He appealed to the public to provide useful information to the service to stem the tide of smuggling in the country. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Now, after about 2.5 years of grooming personnel of the Nigerian Correctional Service in de-radicalization strategies, the European Union is pulling out. This is to pave way for the service to integrate the operations with the dictates of the new Correctional Service Act 2019. Victor Azu tells us more.
A warm welcome for this European Union team. For 30 months, they have supported the Nigerian Correctional Service and indeed Nigeria in the de-radicalization of violent extremist offenders following the long struggle with Boko Haram and Islamic State for West Africa Province, ISWAP. Now it is time for them to say goodbye, but not without creating the pathway for sustainability.
Nigeria's de-radicalization program was established to change the behavioral attitudes and beliefs of those associated with Boko Haram. The new curriculum not only captures and integrates issues related to de-radicalization, but has a foundation in human rights standards.
The next phase is to have a training manual. We are going to commence producing a training manual chapter by chapter on the act itself.
With the task of launching the training curriculum and teaching template donated by the group, the Minister of Interior, Rauf Beshola expresses government expectations going forward.
It is government expectation that the use of this revised curriculum will not only facilitate the implementation of the Nigerian Correctional Service Act 2019, but also contribute to the realization of the current government's commitment to ensuring security, safety, and economic enhancement of Nigerians.
A fitting way to round it all off is this part on the back for the last Comptroller General of Prisons and first Comptroller General of Corrections. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Do stay with us for more reports shortly.
Building democracy has its essential part. Security and peace form the core foundations of any prosperous democratic society. Insecurity deprives a society of the much-needed stability for anything tangible to be achieved. In Kogi State today, there has been peace and stability in the past 3.5 years. This didn't happen by accident. One man, Governor Yahaya Bello, understands the need for peace as an essential ingredient for development. The issue of resolving insecurity in the land topped his table of preference. He provided security agencies with numerous patrol vehicles. Kidnappers' dens have been destroyed. Gangs of robbers have been arrested and prosecuted. Criminals are denied access to land. Kogi State has become one of the most peaceful states in the Nigerian Federation. It needs our support for further development on a solid foundation being laid. Think GYB, a rational choice.
The new edition of TV Guide is out, exclusively taking a look at the traditional television and new media. Are they comparable or complementary? Media industry players give perspective on the trends, progress, challenges, and the way forward. Find out on this compelling edition of TV Guide. Expository interviews with stars of the team within our space. Becky Madojemo of NTA, Tibel More of AIT, Nifemi Oguntai of TVC, and a host of others. TV Guide, your indispensable companion. Also feature Yahaya Bello.
I'm the CEO, Managing Director of Yahaya Sister Restaurant.
A TV drama series on NTA. Let's get to meet the characters behind Yahaya Bello. This edition also presents exciting features on tourism, culture, entertainment, sports, health, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendors near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit 2019 holds on the 6th to the 8th of November 2019. The summit will take place at the Banquet Hall Presidential Villa, Abuja, Nigeria. Theme: leveraging diaspora resources for economic growth. Sectors: agribusiness, education, training, healthcare, entertainment, sports, hospitality and tourism, infrastructure and real estate, manufacturing, extractive industries, telecommunications, technology and innovation, waste management and environmental remediation, transportation. For registration, visit www.ndis.gov.ng. For participation and sponsorship, please call 090-177-77008, 0817-2244-660. Convened by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multi-purpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710 Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
Hello, Lydia. Thank you and welcome to Lagos. The first governor of Lagos State, late Mobolaji Johnson, has been described as a visionary leader who established a solid foundation for nurturing productive minds and institutions in Nigeria. Michael Olaleye reports that the first civilian governor of Lagos State, Lateef Jakonde, was among the few sympathizers who visited the residence of the late elder statesman.
This is number 7 Shagamu Avenue, Ilupeju, residence of the late Mobolaji Johnson, the first governor of Lagos State. The environment was generally quiet, depicting the mood of the people living there. Into the house. First civilian governor of Lagos State, Lateef Jakonde, was at the residence to sympathize.
It was a good one, and I pray that God will bless.
The late Mobolaji Johnson was an old student of the Methodist Boys High School, Lagos.
He was in government to serve the people. And you could see what I just said from the fact that he got plus for his friends, classmates, and he paid single-handedly.
People are talking about Mobolaji Johnson, not about being a rich man or being a billionaire, but that he lived a good life and he left a good name. So Nigerians should learn it's not everything.
Born on February 9, 1936, the late Mobolaji Johnson served as the governor of Lagos State between 1967 and 1975 after his retirement from the Nigerian Army. He spearheaded many developmental strides, including the construction of a network of roads and bridges that constitutes what is now seen as the modern-day Lagos. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
He was also an environmentalist. May he so rest in peace. Now, the federal government's fight against corruption is not targeted at the group of individuals, but an all-inclusive fight aimed at taming the cankerworm from further spread. Acting General Chairman Economic, Acting Chairman Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Mago, while briefing journalists on activities, said all recovered stolen assets will be auctioned.
Cash and assets running into billions of naira. Acting Chairman of the Commission noted with dismay the activities of cyber fraudsters, popularly known as Yahoo Boys. And most worrisome, according to him, is the newly emerged Yahoo Boys Mothers Association, where parents celebrate the criminal acts of their wards. He reiterated the Commission's resolve towards an all-inclusive fight against corruption, where no one found culpable will be spared.
But this time around, we are not going to tolerate the auction, the court auction kind of thing, where the grossly devalued. So at least we may give away at least 40%, and we will do everything possible to know their real value. One has to recover a reasonable amount since it is a budget line. We cannot tolerate, we cannot condone any abuse of office or corrupt practices.
The chairman conducted journalists around some recovered stolen assets, which he said a good number of them will be auctioned at 60% of their current value, including houses. He re-emphasized that the Commission will not compromise on integrity and fairness, with an appeal to Nigerians to join the crusade against graft, to move the nation to the next level of development.
That's a contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Lydia in Abuja. Lydia, over to you.
Many thanks, Jennifer. Progressives Governors Forum is advocating paradigm shift and information dissemination about government activities in order to breach the barrier often created between the leaders and the followers. A meeting between the forum and state commissioners of information held in Abuja has developed an operational model to achieve this. Salu Abdullahi reports.
Advent of social media, information dissemination is no longer a challenge among the people, especially in a democratic society like ours. Information can therefore be used to mar or make a society. Conscious of this and in line with its next level agenda, The forum has entrenched in its performance evaluation template the strategy
we continue to deliver services to the citizens of our states and our country, of course. How do we get better at what we do as in governance, and how do we communicate and expand the horizon of all the states in Nigeria? And then, of course, how do we represent our country even to the outsiders? So that it's not just the negative that everybody sees. What about how do we project the good things that we are doing in this land?
This is part of effort to facilitate accelerated development through programs designed to improve quality of life of citizenry. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The minority leader of the National Assembly, Senator Yahaya Bello, has stressed the importance of proper oversight of the executives, ministries and departments to ensure that funds meant for project executions are adequately utilized. He was speaking at a special plenary session held in his honor by the Abia State House of Assembly in Umuahia. Ifamando Okoli has more.
Special plenary was a platform for the Abia State lawmakers to intimate their senior colleagues at the National Assembly of the need to fast-track project development in the state, especially now that the budget defense is ongoing. The State National Assembly minority leader, Yahaya Bello, who was accompanied by the Deputy Whip of the House of Representatives, Nkiruka Onyocha, urged Abia State lawmakers to always uphold the tenets of the Constitution and ensure that people of Abia get value for whatever funds they have appropriated from the floor of the House.
The rights and privileges that every member of this chamber has is that you serve as the conscience of the people of Abia State.
And we started to work together towards making sure that things that we have to attract from the federal, we started doing that.
Speaker of Abia State House of Assembly, Chinedum Orji, urged them to use their resulted positions and offices as key officers to ensure that the federal government adopts Abia State Polytechnic as a federal institution and other appeals. The special plenary was attended by both serving and former members of Abia State House of Assembly. In Umuahia, Ifeoma Ndu Okolie, NTA News.
It's now time to join Kaduna, where Abdullahi is standing by with the latest from that zone. Hello, Abdullahi.
Thank you for joining us in Kaduna. About 3 million children are to be vaccinated against measles in Cano State during a 2-week statewide campaign embarked upon by the state government.
We apologize for that hitch. Let's move on with the news. The federal government has developed a new national policy that will enable gender balance in accessing government support and privileges in agriculture. The document produced by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture was introduced to the public by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Sabo Nanunu. Musa Babaliu has details.
No farmers, no nation has been the slogan of Nigerian farmers, depicting their importance to the socio-economic development of any country. But the women folk are insisting that no woman, no food on the table should be added to the farmers' slogan. Their role, however, is beyond keeping food on the table, but cut across the entire value chain, from planting to farm management, harvesting, processing and marketing. They all do these not without challenges, especially in areas of access to loan facility, input and intervention from government.
That given the fact that women are more than men in population returns that we have as a country, better attention needs to be given for women participation.
The National Gender Policy in Agriculture is devoted to further uplift women's contribution to national food production.
Opportunities that agriculture offers now is so huge and so encompassing if we are going to move forward, we have to make women all inclusive in our development plans, and especially as they relate to agriculture.
The policy will allow women to have access to land and loan facility to not only own heavy-duty equipment, but also establish processing factory. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
We now go back to Kaduna, where Abdullah is now ready with his stories.
Thank you for joining us. About 3 million children are to be vaccinated against measles in Cano State during a 2-week statewide campaign backed upon by the state's government. At the flag-off ceremony, the state deputy governor, Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna, said the move is part of efforts to consolidate on the gains of Ganduje administration's health interventions initiative. Let's now join Abdullah Musifa for details of that report.
The measles vaccination campaign is a routine exercise to curb the spread of the major child killer disease. About 3 million children from 9 months to 5 years are expected to be vaccinated during the 2-week exercise. It is to be conducted in various locations across the 484 political wards of the state. Kano State Deputy Governor Nasir Yusuf Gawuna, who flagged off the campaign in Nasarawa local government area, disclosed that already 2.9 million doses of anti-measles vaccines have been received from the National Primary Health Care Development Agency.
Parents, you should understand that unvaccinating young children are at high risk of measles and its complications, which includes death. The most serious complications include blindness, deafness, brain swelling, and severe diarrhea.
Representatives of traditional rulers, local government chairmen, and development partners who are members of the State Task Force on Immunization assured of adequate mobilization towards successful conduct of the exercise. In Kano, Abdullah Mustafa, NT News.
Many thanks, Abdullah Musifa. There, as preparations for the forthcoming National Quranic Recitation Competition heightens, contestants to represent Jigawa State have emerged. The competition was organized by Jigawa State Bureau for Islamic Education. Mansur Ali Hassan has details.
Bello Idris from Birnin Kudu and Farida Sabo from Gagarawa local government areas emerged the overall winners in male and female categories of the competition in that order. Governor Muhammadu Badu Abubakar, presented by his deputy Umar Namadi, commended the organizers and challenged the winners and other contestants to prepare ahead for the national competition scheduled to hold in Lagos later in the year. Speaking at the occasion described Quran as a holy book that carries universal message, advising parents to train their words on its teaching.
I advise to the contestant to be sincere in whatever they do. In their effort of recitation of the Quran, in joining and in participating in any competition, they should be sincere, hardworking, diligent in order to reach the highest stage they can ever reach, inshallah ta'ala.
And prizes were presented to the overall winners and other deserving contestants. From Duze, Mansur Ali Hassan, NTA News.
And that report from Duze ends nationwide. From Kaduna, Lydia will continue the news in Abuja. Lydia.
Many thanks, Abdullahi. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has inaugurated a 16-member commission of inquiry into the alleged kidnap and sale of 9 children from the state. The commission, chaired by a retired Kano High Court judge, is in addition to identifying the causes, victims, and culprits. It is also expected to recommend ways of preventing future occurrences. Abdullah Mustafa has details.
Members of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry, led by Justice Wada Umarano, are to identify causes, those involved, and possible ways of preventing future occurrence.
I've already directed the State Minister of Justice to amend the relevant provision of the Penal Code laws
punishment for the offender of kidnapping from form of imprisonment to death penalty.
The event was also a platform that brought together stakeholders, including the rescued children and their parents, security agents, religious and community leaders.
This is a pure case of criminal conspiracy, concealment, and keeping in confinement a kidnapped person, buying and selling of minor and trafficking in person.
I want to thank the people of Kano State for their understanding, because this is that type of thing that ignites crisis in town. I want to thank them for their restraint.
Parents of the rescued children thanked Kano State government and the police for reuniting them. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Police Gombe State Command has paraded suspects in connection with abduction of some children aged between 2 and 3 years. This follows the recent rescue of 2 abducted children by detectives in Anambra State. Correspondent Zara Umar Adamu reports.
The principal suspect, Hawa Usman of Tudunwa Pantami quarters in Gombe State, who gave her name as Blessing John to the police in Anambra State, and the 2 other syndicates, Ngozi Elisiobi of number 14 Ngozi Street in Onitsha, Anambra State, and Faith Ope from Cross River State, were in the process of selling the 2 abducted children when they were arrested by the police detectives in Anambra State.
This lady here, who calls herself Blessing John, but in actual fact, her real name is Hawa Usman. But she now presents herself in Anambra as Blessing John. And she was the principal suspect that took these children down to Anambra to go and sell to these 2 women.
The suspects will be charged to court as soon as police investigations are over. In Gombe, Zara Omar, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Pauline Talent, says the federal government is mapping out strategies to implement its policies and enact laws for a stronger national response to end cases of sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria. She said this at the 19th National Council meeting on Women and Social Development held in Akure, Ondo State capital. Doris Olumoko reports.
Speaking on the theme of the 19th National Council meeting on Women Affairs and Social Development, which centered on gender equality and social inclusion, a panacea for peace, unity, and sustainable development in Nigeria, the minister says women have resolved to wage war against cases of sexual exploitation, rape, child trafficking, and other condemnable acts being experienced by women.
The implication is that we have to intensify our efforts, strengthen existing partnerships, forge new strategies, alliances in addressing some of the challenges of building pathways to sustainable growth and development.
Also, a wake up for women to rise up and play their necessary role in every phase of our national development.
Ekiti, Duna, Akwebom, Lagos, Ondo, and Kwara State were honored for their gender-friendly policies. Akure, Doris Lumoko, NTA News.
Let's now join Kemi in Ibadan for stories from there. Hello, Kemi.
Media and welcome to Ibadan. Provision of adequate equipment and conducive environment for members of staff are the focus of the management of the Nigerian Television Authority towards ensuring optimal performance of staff. Director General NTA Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed said this at a meeting with management and staff of Ibadan Network Center. The Director General is committed in his efforts at providing staff with adequate state-of-the-art equipment and ensuring optimal welfare for enhanced productivity. He urged members of staff to support the management and frowned at indiscipline.
The first television station in the whole of Africa was established in Ibadan, right here where we are, some 60 years back. So coming to Ibadan for me is historic, I've always wanted to visit, and I must say that I'm happy with what I've seen.
It's coming. We encourage the staff to do more than what they've been doing in the past.
The DG was accompanied by the management to operational areas for an on-the-spot assessment of facilities at the NTA Ibadan Network Center, where he remembered with nostalgia the good old days when he joined NTA as a reporter.
Studies from clinical sciences revealed that 422 million adults have diabetes worldwide, causing 1.5 million deaths annually. This was at the Southern Region Sensitization Workshop for stakeholders in the sugar subsector of On Sugar and Health, the Myth and Facts, held in Ibadan. Correspondent Rafael Animashan Badmos has the details.
Findings show that Nigeria and Benin Republic have the consumption figure of 6.9 kilograms of sugar per annum in West Africa, while Switzerland recorded 49.1 kilograms and 40.4 kilograms for South Africa per annum. The implication of this is that Nigeria is among the lowest consumers of sugar.
The metabolic disorders like diabetes, which is becoming quite rampant these days.
If you are not disposed to having diabetes, there is no amount of sugar you take that it will affect you.
Stakeholders in the industry observe that government at all levels should articulate policies and programs for sustainable development of sugar sector to boost the economy of the country.
Sugar is necessary, it creates carbohydrate, it creates energy for the body.
But with this lecture now, everybody knows that there's nothing bad in you taking sugar, but to be in moderation.
It was therefore advocated that appropriate diet, exercise and lifestyle modifications remain the cornerstone for prevention of diabetes. In Ibadan, Rafia Animashan Badmos, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Lydia, it's back to you.
Many thanks, Kemi. The President Muhammadu Buhari administration's fight against corruption has received another boost with the sealing of electronic shops selling fake and substandard goods in Suleja, Niger State. Chimaima Basis Sadiq reports that this was done in collaboration with law enforcement agents.
The seal of operation followed earlier resistance by some electronic shop owners to allow officials of the Standard Organization of Nigeria, Niger State Office 2, Suleja, to investigate complaints of sale of fake and substandard television sets to customers. Coordinator, Standard Organization of Nigeria, Niger State Office 2, Suleja, Sunday Ishaya, said some electronic dealers had cloned LG television sets, which says 43 inches on the carton, contains 38 inches.
They operate in a syndicate in this place. So that's why we want to dig out and find out where truly they are getting this television sales from.
Standard Organization of Nigeria advises consumers to be vigilant when buying all household equipment, especially television sets, to ascertain its sizes and quality tallies what they are paying for. Standard Organization of Nigeria advises all electronic sellers to desist from selling fake and substandard goods in the country, as it is determined to sanitize the Nigerian market. In Suleja, Maima Basti Sadiq, NTA News.
Lai Mohammed has assured that the federal government is working on all fronts to position the tourism and culture sector strategically to play its role as a revenue-generating industry. The minister stated this during an interactive session with culture and tourism correspondents in Abuja. Anthony Forsen has more.
The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, chronicled the sector's performance under his supervision in the last dispensation. He said, contrary to insinuations that the information sector was given more attention than culture and tourism, a lot was achieved in the culture and tourism sector in the last administration.
During my first term or two, we succeeded in getting pioneer status to be granted to the creative industry by the federal government to boost investment in the sector.
It was one of the recommendations from the Creative Industry Financing Conference. And we want to call on our stakeholders and practitioners to take advantage of these two very important initiatives from the government.
In this second term in office, Lai Mohammed assured that a robust calendar of events is underway and that culture and tourism reporters will be carried along fully.
So we actually really need to work with you, even as resource person, and that's, I think, that way we go to achieve our goal.
Leader of the group, Bridget Onoche, said their visit to the minister is to have a first-hand knowledge of the minister's plans and focus for the sector. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Extremism, a phenomenon that transcends boundaries, poses a major threat to humanity and undermines the core values of unity of any nation. How can this menace be tackled? Linda Okoye-Igwe tells us some solutions proffered at FRCN 2019 annual lecture held in Abuja.
This young man has come all the way from South Africa, despite the tension experienced some time ago between his country and Nigeria. He is lending his own voice to the millions of other voices speaking against violence and extremism. He is here in Abuja to join the key players at the FRCN annual lecture, providing solutions to the root causes of unrest, killings or harming of people, and destruction of property.
It is when Nigeria begins to develop its powerful ideological arguments until we believe in this country and begin to develop a powerful ideological argument.
I hope it will enlighten all of us even more on the need to eschew extremist behaviors or extremist ideologies and toward the path of peace, security in a united nation, in a united Nigeria.
Whatever that will be the highlights of this discussion will be relevant to the needs of Nigeria, that will promote unity and cohesiveness of this great country.
With the theme extremism, a threat to national unity, it is the belief here that love is the greatest force that can defeat hatred, violence, and disharmony. Linda Okoye, NTA News.
More reports ahead on Nationwide. Do stay with us.
About to witness the commencement of the most stimulating and compelling contest on television. This contest is only for the strong, the intelligent, and the talented. Get ready for the Pretty Talent reality TV show. Coming soon.
Succeeded to pull a galaxy of stars from the north, south, east to the west